Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name Irfan Rahman. My class E719. My NPM 19144600246. I will explain about what a food chain is about. Okay. Food chains, material definition, function, and explain. Humans are not the only creatures that live on this earth. There are many living things that grow and develop seed by seed with humans as fellow living things that inhabit the earth. There must be interaction between living things. The relationship between living things that influence and other will produce an ecosystem. In an ecosystem environment, there are relationships between introducts food webs. Ecosystem can also be interpreted as an ecological system in which there is a reciprocal relationship between species, diversity, and material cycle, and the flow of energy through the component contained in it. Definition of food webs. A food chain is part of a food web. Although food chains and food webs look the same, they are slightly different. The food chain is a series of processes of eating and being between living things based on a curtailed sequence that has the role of products, consumers, and decomposers for survival. Simple food. The food chain can be seen in a coherent way from producer, consumer, and decomposer. It is differs with food webs. A food web is a combination of connected, overlapping food chains in an ecosystem. Function of food webs. The fundamental purpose of a food web is to describe the food chains between species in a community. Food webs can be constructed to describe species interaction. All species in the food webs can be divided into basal species, anthropods, and plants. Intermediate species, herbivores, and intermediate carnivores, such as grasshoppers and scorpions, and apex or predatory species, bigger carnivores. Food chains process. The process of eating and being eating in this food chain takes place continuously with their respective rules, such as producer, consumers, and discoverers or decomposers. Okay, producer. Producers are organisms that are able to make their own food. For example, green plants. Its existence does not depend on the availability of food, but on the balance of nature. There are living things that can make organic substance from inorganic substances. Usually, producers make their food through the process of photosynthesis. Examples of producers include green plants, algae, and mosses. Okay, consumer. Consumer are living thing that depend on other creatures because they cannot produce their own food like produce. Therefore, to maintain their survival, consumers depend on other organisms. The role of consumer in an ecosystem is usually animals. Consumers have survival levels including the fish consumer. The fish consumer is a producer of our planet, eater, and is usually called an herbivore consumer. Explains such as cows, rabbits, buffalo, and other. Secondary consumer organismable food source sources are from the previous tropic level tropic 2. This level is filled by carnivorous animals that can still be preyed upon by other animals, for example rats. Tertiary consumer. This consumer is the second consumer, and so on until the last consumer is called the top consumer. Usually, the top consumer are animals that cannot be eaten by other animals. Examples are lions, crocodiles, eagle. Okay. Decomposer or descriptor. Decomposers are the last organism in the food chain because decomposers are organisms that are able to convert organic substance into inorganic substance. Decomposers break down carrion or dead plants and then return their nutrients to the soil where plants will use them for photosynthesis. This is where the cycle of the food chain begins again. Examples of decomposers are fungus and bacteria. Food chains are part of food webs. The following is an explanation of food webs. A food web is a combination of interconnected or combined food chains that overlap in a ecosystem. Although in general there are 5 levels of the food chains, not all food chains consist of their 5 tropic level 5. Okay, Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.